I'm going to apologize in advance. Something is going on with my speaker, and so it kind of fluctuates the volume, but hopefully my editing hasn't made it too bad. I'm going to go ahead and try and fix it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is what exactly my lesson plan was and what my goal was for the lesson. So I'm teaching this lesson to Brielle Ann Kelly. She's my niece and she is 3 years old. She hasn't gone to preschool or any sort of like early education, but her mom is very smart and has always tried to incorporate a little bit of basic knowledge into like how she raised her and did day-to-day things since she's a stay-at-home mom. So she was able to play with a lot of toys, and when she did watch shows, they were very educational. Okay, so just for the basic rundown of what this lesson is about, it is about learning the 5 basic shapes. So it was circle, square, triangle, star, and heart. And I wanted my student to be able to learn all 5 of those shapes and be able to identify them just by looking at them. By being able to go, this is a triangle when I show them shape, or that's a circle. Just identify basic parts and get them to be able to instantaneously know that shape. So my student is Brielle Ann Kelly. She's my niece and she is 3 years old, and she has not had any preschool or previous education through public schooling or private schooling, any sort of formal education, but she has been raised by her mom, who is a stay-at-home mom, and my sister, and she's always tried to incorporate different learning tools and toys and movies and just anything in general she can to get her kind of just a head start and everything. So she already has a basic knowledge of shapes, but has a more difficult time when it comes to identifying shapes that look similar to each other, like a triangle and a square, since they both have points, a heart and a circle and different things like that. So the first part of my lesson, I wanted to be able to just see what she already knows and maybe what I need to refresh her on. And so a big part of that was I tried to not just be like, this is a circle and this is a square, as I sent her the cookie cutters. I tried to show her the shape and be like, okay, can you name this shape? That way I could get into her past learning and see if she would be able to identify any of the shapes without me having to teach her first. So that was the first portion, and I'll insert a clip of that here. Here, can I give you some shapes?
Yeah, I gave my shape.
Okay. So what shape is this?
Star.
Good job. What shape is this?
Heart.
What shape is this?
Circle.
Good job. What shape is this?
Triangle.
Good job. And last one, it's a little tricky.
Yeah.
Think you can do it?
Yeah. Triangle.
Oh, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
This one's called a square.
Square.
Okay, so after I do the whole identifying of what she already knows, I want to be able to take that knowledge and use it to apply it later in the lesson where I have planned to kind of teach her about the shapes a little bit more. So in this part, I wanted to, just based on her needs, I want to show her just a shape that she might not know what it is. So let's say she struggled and she didn't know what a triangle was. I wanted to be able to show her a triangle and be like, here's how you can identify a triangle. Keep showing it to her and all of these things. Just kind of get her memory working and her thinking about it and just showing her identifiable parts of a triangle. That way in the future when I tasked her to tell me what a triangle was, she'd be able to directly point to it. And so I did this with a bunch of the other different shapes, which you will see in some of the clips I will insert probably throughout this video. But this second part of the lesson was mostly taking what I learned in the first part of what she struggled and already knew and use that to maybe get a deeper knowledge and see what we needed to review or needed to learn still. So the third part was probably the most fun part. So after I was able to kind of identify all the shapes and get her review going, this is the part where I let her get creative and had some fun. So this is where the Play-Doh comes in a little bit more. And what I want to do, or what I did do, I guess, this is in the future after the lesson has been already finished up. What I did is I had all the cookie cutters out and all of the Play-Doh ready, and I just let Brielle go to town. I let her I didn't even worry about the shapes at first. I just let her get used to the Play-Doh. I just start to feel it, squish it, see how it works. I taught her how the cookie cutters work, and I just wanted to get her mind rolling. And that was a big part, is because students learn a lot easier when they're teaching themselves and when they're doing things hands-on, at least in my experience. And this doesn't work for everybody, but what I noticed with my niece, over the years I've known her. She learns better when she's doing it instead of me telling her. She's 3 years old. So this was the part where I let her get creative for a little bit, kind of do whatever she wanted, any shape, any color, all that. Once that was over, I gave her the cookie cutters and I asked her to start cutting out some shapes. Can you cut me out your favorite shape? Could you cut me out a triangle? Could you cut me out a star? And I wanted to see if she could pick them correctly. And then once she had created the shape, I wanted her to name the shape and all of these things. That way I can see if she's processing the learning, not only knowing the shape on site when picking a cookie cutter out, but being able to identify the shape after she has made it, and maybe possibly answering why she knows it's a triangle if it's a more... Triangle was the one she struggled with, but if it was a shape she could identify or struggled with identifying, how she knows. So that was the third part. Just after all of that is over, I want to kind of go over things a couple more times, just making sure she can identify it, and combining all three of those different parts of the lesson into one, and just combining them and repeating, what's this, what's this, what's this, what's this shape, and giving her options. Is this a triangle or is this a square? Different things like that to really get her mind thinking and processing all of the information that I am giving her. So when it came to the affective domain and what I did to use that in my lesson and everything, there was a particular incident that I will insert here. Bria, why are you sad? Can you tell me about that? Why are you sad, Bria? Because you're so tired? Okay, here, do you want a 3-second rest? Come here, face this way. I'll do it with you. I know, look at me. Watch, I'll do it with you. Ready? Fold your arms like this. Put it on the table. Close your eyes. 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we wake up. Put our arms in the air. Wiggle them around like this. Put our hands on the table. Wiggle them around like this. Then we shake it really softly. Shake it really softly. Creep it away. Then we put it back up in the air. Oh. So as you can see, at this point in time, Brielle got a little frustrated or bored. She just was not having it. And she said she was tired. She did not want to do this lesson anymore. And what I decided to do, instead of telling her, well, you need to do it anyway, I decided to ask her, oh, what's wrong? Can you tell me? Like, okay, try to see if I could get anything out of her. And she wasn't really talking to me, so I decided maybe forcing her to talk is not the best option. So instead, what I decided to do was be supportive, and I gave her a rest time, and I let her lay her head on the desk and swing her arms around, get her energy out, all of the things to get her blood flowing a little bit, and just give her a little bit of a break from the lessons of me pounding information into her head, even if she didn't, she's not old enough to realize that's what's happening, but I am. So I tried to use that affective domain to create a safe environment for her and to let her know that, yes, I'm the one teaching her, but I also value her opinion. And so that was where I noticed affective domain the most in that particular incident. There was definitely a lot of moments where I found positive transfer throughout the lesson. One specific instance was when she was doing the creative part of the lesson, and she knew that she had seen triangles on top of houses, and so when she was creating things with the Play-Doh, she knew to put a triangle on top of a square to make a house. And can you tell me which one it is?
Like a house.
Yeah, you can use it in a house, but can you name the shape?
Oh. Triangle.
Good job. In instances like that, she also knew a lot from past learning already in the very beginning, what some of the shapes were. She knew what a star was. She totally knew what that triangle was. She knew what the heart was, all that thing, because she learned it in the past from different shows, from her mom, and different toys. So some of the moments where I saw the most thinking, where I was able to really experience the thinking process, is when I would give her 2 options and say, is this a square or is this a triangle? And really see how her brain was working. And another moment as well, I'm not quite sure how to explain this, but I was trying to explain to her, she's 3 years old, so she can't quite count properly yet. But I was trying to show her, that a heart has 2 humps. And so it was really cool to see her kind of move her finger a little bit. Every single time I'd ask her why it was a heart, I would see her try to thing through and be like, oh, well, it has 2 humps. Same with a star having 5 points. I noticed a lot of moments like that. And so it was really cool to see how her brain was processing the information I told her on how to identify a shape. So point your finger. Now put it on the wood. Now can you draw a circle in the wood? Good job. Okay. So when it came to memory, I kind of tried to incorporate it throughout the whole lesson instead of just in one particular part. So at the very beginning, I quizzed her past learning memory to see what she already knew. So what shape is this?
Star.
Good job. What shape is this?
Heart.
What shape is this?
Circle.
Good job. What shape is this?
Triangle.
Good job. And last one, it's a little tricky.
Yeah.
Think you can do it?
Yeah. Triangle.
Oh, try. Oh, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
This one's called a square.
Square.
And throughout the lesson, I would kind of just be like, do you know what shape this is? Why can you tell that's a heart? And different things like that to see if she was processing the memory, like processing the information I was giving her and seeing if she could remember that. So you see your 5 different shapes?
Yeah.
Can you go through and name them for me?
Heart. Star.
Oh, what about these 2? And so that's kind of where I saw memory throughout the whole thing, is her whenever I'd ask her those questions to see how she would pull it out of her brain. As for what actually happened in the lesson plan, a lot of what I originally planned did indeed happen. There weren't any huge hiccups or anything, or me trying to change the lesson. She was only 3, so it was pretty easy to keep her attention focused for the most part, especially with the way I designed my lesson plan with the creativity part. There were a couple of hiccups. There were a couple things I really didn't like that I did. A lot of the times I would put some well-meaning pressure on her, being like, oh, you knows this one is easy, and I would realize right after I said that maybe I shouldn't be saying that because it's creating pressure on her. And there were just a couple of small moments where I, as the teacher, realized I could have done better. But as for the lesson plan as a whole, I feel like it went very smoothly and according to plan. Okay, so that was my connections case study. This is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. So just to make this a little more fun, there were a lot of parts of the lesson that I didn't include when I was talking about the main things because those were specific instances. But Brielle is so sweet and so funny, so I wanted to include just a couple of funny clips of moments where I had to get something ready so I wasn't paying attention to Brielle, or her just saying funny things just to make you smile, because honestly the kids are a big reason why I want to choose today, and that's really important. And so I just want to show Brielle's personality here at the end. Thank you for watching. Okay.
Okay, Mama. And I got squish it. Got squish it. Hey.
You want to squish it? Yeah. You can do anything you want with it.
Wow. Look at this. It can work. I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
You're done?
Yeah.
You have 2 more to name.
No. Wow, look at this.
Oh my gosh. What shape did you just
Heart.
make? You made a heart. Good job.
Yeah, put right there.
Can you show the camera?
Mama,
Look at that.
look at the star.
Okay, Brielle, what's your name?
Oh. Megan Chloe.
That's your brother. What's your name?
Oh. Megan Chloe.
No, can you say your name?
Brielle.
And
And
what sound does a unicorn make?
we make a unicorn.
You're gonna make a unicorn. Go ahead and smile.
Mommy, Mommy. Daddy,
Go show him.
Daddy,